Hello, friends. This is Scott Monty. Stand by for commentary.
Welcome to the Full Monty, where you'll be exposed to commentary and analysis from the week's digital news. You give us 15 minutes, and we'll save you hours. And now, here's your host, Scott Monty.
Hi, and welcome to the Full Monty, an audio companion to the newsletter of the same name. Each week, I pick a couple of the more pressing issues and inject some insight, opinion, and wit into this 15-minute show that's sure to give you a better sense of what's affecting the industry. Maybe you'll agree, maybe you won't, but I hope it makes you think. Are we ready? Okay, there are a lot of numbers in this episode, so hold on to your pocket protector. The common thread of video. There were a number of stories in our June 27th issue that all revolved around video. After several years of moving out of TV budgets to experiment with new digital outlets and social media, several big advertisers are spending more on television. And the result, according to ad buyers and other executives familiar with the pace of this year's upfront negotiations, are a series of rate increases. Increases that TV hasn't won since the end of the last U.S. recession. Still, television advertising grew for 40 years, unchecked. In the last 20, that growth has slowed significantly, but it's still been around 40% of the market share. Digital and mobile, by comparison, have a 33% share of the advertising market. But when you consider time spent, this is where things get interesting. Digital accounted for 47% of time spent with media in 2015, up from 32%. 47% up from 32% in 2011, while TV has fallen from 41% in 2011 to 35% in 2015. If you look more closely at this decline in time spent with TV, it's not evenly distributed across age groups. Of course, the 65-plus age group has seen a 14% increase in time spent on TV from 2010 to 2015. The 50 to 64-year-old demographic saw a 1% increase. However, every other age group has seen a decline in TV viewing. That's from a 14% decrease in 35 to 49-year-olds to a whopping 41% decrease in 18 to 24-year-olds. Those figures tell us the story of the future of television the way we know it. So where's the future of video? Well, the live stream industry is preparing for its own advertising heyday as they create live fronts for advertisers to invest in live video. If it's quality content, of course, people will stop and watch live video. It's a matter of making it known and making an appointment with your audience, and then delivering on your promise. And more people now are turning to online services like Netflix for their entertainment. Amazon Video was responsible for just under 2% of downstream traffic on the internet last year. This year, it more than doubled that, with 4.25% of downstream traffic. Suddenly, Amazon streaming video is in the number 3 position, after Netflix, which has 35.15%, and YouTube with 17.53%. With more original programming in the works, and its massive customer database, you can absolutely expect Amazon to be growing this segment of live video, or programmatic video, and doing so aggressively. But YouTube Red, the company's paid subscription model, they're not standing by idly either. They're joining Netflix and Amazon and Hulu by stepping up to spend money to buy content from big media companies. In this case, YouTube Red has acquired Step Up, a drama based on the street dance movie that launched Channing Tatum's career. Oh, where would 21 Jump Street be without him? Well, overall, the U.S. digital video advertising market is expected to continue to grow at a double-digit pace through at least 2020, according to eMarketer. 72% of marketers plan to invest those digital video ad dollars with YouTube in the next year, while 46% of marketers plan to use, guess what, Facebook. Other platforms, including Hulu, ABC, and Yahoo, garnered less representation. And there continues to be a push from Facebook into live video. As you probably know, I host a Sunday evening show on Facebook Live every week myself. But now Facebook is paying celebrities and influencers to use the live platform to create more video, thus trying to dominate the other companies out there. They have the scale to do it, and the tools to continue to evolve the platform, such as creating live video for more than one party, or creating waiting rooms that allow enough people to gather before a program starts in earnest. In reality, what's happening is that we're witnessing the rebirth of television, simply on new platforms. In its earliest days, television was only broadcast live. You had to watch a show when it was on. Over time, we've grown accustomed to recording our favorite shows, first on VCRs and more recently on DVRs. So live is almost a novelty at this point. What's old is new again. Only now, at least we have hopes for better ads. Don't we? Maybe at least we're secure in the knowledge that we have the ability to provide a live comment back to our hosts about them.
Get your trivia skills ready for the Naked Truth.
And now this week's Naked Truth trivia question. Seeing as this is the first official episode of the show, what is the origin of the phrase, the full Monty? Answer at the end of the show. And now page 2. Sharing without reading. How often do you share links online? Probably every day. And multiple times a day at that. But of the content you share, do you actually read all of it? Or do you simply share a link because you like the headline? A recent study showed that 60% of people will show and share an article online without having read it. Think about that for a moment. 60%. That's an awful lot of content that's being shared without being read. Now, the hope is that we're not all avoiding the same 60% of content, but it leaves us with the inescapable reality that we're walking around as uninformed as we choose to be. Before the internet, when people used to share articles, they did it by clipping them out of magazines and newspapers. And they did it because there was something compelling about the article, not just about the headlines. Although I will say the New York Post has always been masterful about how they handle their tabloid headlines. A personal favorite is headless body found in topless bar. But those headlines are meant to sell the paper. Once you had the paper and were interested in clipping and sharing an article, the entire article was there on the page for you to read. These days, we're not exposed to the full article when we see a headline race past our feed on Facebook or Twitter. We're given a decision to make, literally hundreds of times a day, on what's worthy to appear in our feed. Because we make judgments from headlines alone, and we in turn are judged based on what we share. There should be a great lesson for you in the power of headlines and the ability to craft opinion based on short sentences. Twitter, anyone? But here's the rub. The algorithms that power news feeds on Facebook, Twitter, and other sites are designed to give us more of what they think we want, which means the version of the world we encounter every day in our own personal stream has been invisibly curated to reinforce our pre-existing beliefs. This is why it seems so uncommon for some people to see Trump or Brexit supporters in their feed, and yet both issues have propelled one side to prominence and to victory. If we're not seeing the content, we're isolated in some way from the reality of the situation. So in the end, we all have a responsibility. As readers and sharers of content, we have the responsibility to more thoroughly read and consume content before we share it, even if it reinforces a stance that we want to take, or especially if it reinforces a stance we want to take. And as marketers and communicators who create the content, we have an equal responsibility to accurately reflect the core takeaways of our material in the headlines or short descriptions. When misinformed opinion gets shared online, creators are equally as, if not more, responsible than the people who blindly share the content. And now our trivia answer. The full Monty is a British slang phrase that's of uncertain origin. It's generally used to mean everything which is necessary, appropriate, or possible. The works, according to Wikipedia. Possible origins include the strenuous training that Field Marshal Montgomery subjected his troops to during the Second World War, or the large breakfasts that Montgomery ate. Of course, in the 1997 film The Full Monty, the phrase referred to a group of unemployed steelworkers in Sheffield who took up stripping and ended up taking everything off. Check out our other major stories in the June 27th edition of the newsletter, including the launch of live video at YouTube, Tumblr, and Twitter's expansion of time limits on Vine videos. How the on-demand economy is hitting the reset button as the market matures. And an update on the Barcelona Principles, some PR measurement guidance with the AMEC Integrated Evaluation Framework. And that wraps up this first episode of The Full Monty. Thank you for making me a part of your week and for being exposed to The Full Monty. Until next time, I'm Scott Monty, and I'll see you on the internet.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the Full Monty newsletter and this program at fullmontyshow.com.
Excelsior!